Welcome back to the Adventurous Spirit podcast.
Welcome back.
And a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you and yours.
Happy holidays.
That's right. It's Christmas time. We are your hosts. I am Chris Raboyne, and this perfect little snow angel across from me is my beautiful wife, Noelle.
Hey, guys.
Our family has spent the last 2 years traveling the country as nomads, meaning we never stay in the same place for too long, experiencing as much as possible and learning along the way that change does not equal failure and different does not equal wrong.
Never, never.
And we call that embracing your
Adventurous spirit.
Wow. So I guess that makes us your coast-to-coast ghost hosts with the most. Get it? Because of ghost, spirit, and the coast-to-coast is the adventure.
I'm with you. I get it.
All right.
So good.
Either way, we're so glad you're here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on wherever you like to consume your podcasts. We're bringing you a brand new episode every Wednesday, so join the family, embrace your adventurous spirit, and follow along. You can follow us over on social media at the Adventurous Spirit Podcast, and of course, right here on YouTube, so you can see just how fashionable we can be. I mean, if you think we wouldn't wear these outfits just because it's Christmas, you're wrong.
You're so wrong. I'd wear this anywhere.
Noelle's over there bringing us some top shelf elf couture, looking like a Christmas snack. And I'm, of course, bringing you some Douglas fir realness.
Yes, you are.
On this holiday season. 'Tis the season. Mm-hmm. Because we do have a very merry, holly jolly special show lined up for you today with all new segments that we are super excited to bring you.
It's crazy.
Noelle, what do we have coming down the chimney for them?
Oh my goodness. We have a very special, as Chris Douglas Fir over here said, holly jolly episode coming down the chimney for you guys today. We're going to give you guys some holiday travel tips because I know a lot of people travel this holiday season.
Oh yeah. And it can get real tricky.
Real tricky, real hectic.
Sticky.
Whether you're flying or driving, we've got some travel tips for you guys today.
Yes.
Before we head over to Cade's Craft Corner, where our youngest son, Cade, helps us with a Christmas craft idea.
Can't wait for that.
Then we're going to get a little physical and talk about one of the latest health fads that's been sweeping the fitness industry, but has been utilized for thousands of years.
That's right. We're talking about the cold plunge.
The cold plunge.
You've seen people doing it online.
Probably seen us doing it online.
We got into it and we're going to talk about it.
Not before or not after.
Now I'm confused.
Now I'm confused. Okay.
What's next?
After Let's Get Physical, we're heading over to my segment where we're going to get a little witchy, where I'm going to share with you a holistic health tip that helps supports your body, mind, and spirit.
Oh, yeah.
Then we're going to be staying hip with our oldest son, Casey, where we try to understand what these darn kids are up to and what they're really trying to tell us.
Someone's got to get to the bottom of this.
But not before closing with one of our favorite segments, Movie Night, where we're going to share with you our number one movie Christmas recommendation. But first, do you smell that?
What is that?
What's burning?
What's burning?
What's Burning, where we discuss hot topics and burning questions. And today we're going to be checking out the top 10 Christmas movies list according to IMDb and see how it matches up with our personal top favorites.
IMDb puts out a top 100 Christmas movies. I think they do this every year, where they name according to whatever their
Metascore. I think it goes off Metascore. IMDb is owned by Amazon, by the way.
So
I don't know if anybody knew
they're
that.
pretty much the authority on what's the most popular stuff. So we're going off their list. Top 100 Christmas movies. We're really going to dive into the top 10. And I got to say, just by looking at this,
It's surprising.
Kind of upset with a few of these, and only a couple of my all-time favorites are even mentioned on here. So
Same.
I mean, I'm not a movie shamer. I have nothing bad to say because I like some stuff that probably most people don't.
You are usually a database of your own of movies. So you are a very trustworthy source, I would say.
Yeah, but there's some controversial things on here. Like, for instance, at number 10, top 10 Christmas movies, Gremlins.
Never seen it.
I have nothing bad to say about Gremlins, the movie. It was terrifying when I was a kid. I was born in 87, so I must have been, the movie's only 3 years old when I came out, and I remember it scaring the daylights out of me. To call it a Christmas movie, I don't know, guys. What constitutes a Christmas movie? There's traditional movies that you watch through certain periods of time. The Christmas season will warrant different movies, but if a movie takes place during Christmas time, does that qualify as a Christmas movie? Because clearly Gremlins is not about Christmas.
Yeah, some of the other movies on this list are definitely not Christmas movies. So we'll see if this.
So it's a hot topic. This is a burning subject. Gremlins, whatever. Number 9, Elf.
Deserves to be on there for sure.
I have no quarrels with Elf being on this list at all, especially in the top 10. Will Ferrell obviously gives arguably one of his best movie ever.
He's given top shelf Elf couture for sure.
Yeah, you're taking a page out of his book right now.
Yeah, and I would say this was a very close call for me when I was putting together my top 10. It almost made my top 10, but it's actually not on there. If I were to give it a slot, it's number 11 on my list. Okay. It's number 11. So
honorable mention.
Honorable mention. So I'm not surprised that I see it here at number 9. Yeah. And then coming in at number 8 is a classic, Miracle on 34th Street.
Sure. We got to talk about the classics because there's tons of classic Christmas movies.
Yeah.
And this is the 1947 version listed on there. Mm-hmm. There's also one that came out in 1994 that it mentions, which is the one that I was thinking of.
Sure. Classic story. I totally understand how it's on the top 10.
Can't really argue with that.
No.
Classic movie. Number 7, A Christmas Story.
A Christmas Story.
1983. This is a movie that you're going to see at some point. It's on probably 7 channels right now on cable, for those of you who watch cable.
Probably the most quotable movie around Christmas time anyway. Someone's going to mention it, right?
You'll shoot your eye out. You know, the Red Rocket Rider super pistol gun or whatever.
Fudge.
Yeah, tongue stuck on the pole. Great cinematic movie. It's
so good.
Good story. I love it.
I think, as a kid, this movie was how I actually found out what the F word actually was.
That was your intro?
That was my intro to it because I remember watching it and being like, fudge isn't a bad word. And my mom was like, well, he didn't actually say fudge. And so I was like, well, then what did he say?
Sit down.
So what do we have at number 6?
All right. Number 6, it's probably in my top 3. And we're talking about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Again, another movie I have never seen.
That's bizarre. I mean, I guess, yeah, it's not your style, but Christmas Vacation is so good.
Well, I feel like there's 2 types of households. You either grow up in a National Lampoon's household or you don't. And I think
you're a Frosty home.
You and I are representations of both of those households. I don't think I've ever seen a National Lampoon's in its entirety. I've only seen little bits and pieces whenever you've put one on.
I like all the Chevy Chase vacation movies, Christmas Vacation, Vegas Vacation, Vacation. They're all really good. This is my favorite one. It's just so funny. And I just have memories of liking the movie as a kid because it was on. It's a staple in the house. My dad would just be cracking up at all these things. It wasn't until the recent years that I realized how funny that movie is as a dad, as a middle-aged, almost middle-aged dad. It's so funny. Just it just hits home watching this guy slowly slip into madness. He goes from just trying not to break a smile during all these just awful things happening with him and his family to him just walking around with a chainsaw, cutting off banisters in his house.
Oh my gosh.
And like losing his mind trying to plug in the lights for his Christmas display. It's just,
okay.
It's so relatable.
I'm seeing it. I'm actually very curious now. I want to watch this with you.
It's pure comedy. We got to watch it.
Let's watch it.
It deserves to be on anyone's list. And at number 6, no problems there.
Number 5 is, again, no arguments, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer from 1964. Yep. This one did make it onto my personal top 10. It's
still one of the favorites, huh?
It is. It's my number 9. I had to give Ode because it was, I think my dad, this is what Christmas is or was this movie.
Yeah. Same with my mom. My mom loves, all her favorite movies are like the
clay
Rudolph,
animation.
The Little Drummer Boy, all those like weird claymation movies.
Yes. The classic clay animation Christmas movies. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not knocking them. They're great. They're a little played out to me.
Silver and gold.
Yeah, great music.
Silver and gold. And his voice, Rudolph. He kind of sounds like this.
That annoys me now. And the sound, the god-awful sound that his nose makes when it lights up.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
Dude, no one's making fun of you because of the light. It's the piercing, like, sound like a freaking
Calm it down,
jet
Rudolph.
engine.
Okay, calm it down.
Like, what is that sound?
But okay, we've made fun of it, but it's a classic.
But
Great Christmas
I do
movie.
love it. Coming in at number 4 could easily be my number 1. Talking about Home Alone.
This is one of your favorite
Home
movies of just
Alone.
all time.
I
And
could watch this any day.
here's
of the
the
year.
debate though. Is this a Christmas movie or is this just a movie around Christmas time?
This is where I'm on one side of the fence with that argument, because you can make it. This could easily be like an Easter movie or just a summer movie where they leave him at home and he gets stuck at home and all the same things happen. It just happens to be taking place during Christmas. So I get that argument, but when I think Christmas, one of the first movies I think of is Home Alone for sure. It's a must watch every year. The first one and the second one, Lost in New York, is arguably even better. But Home Alone is so good and it only gets better. Every time I watch it, it's funnier.
You just recently watched this,
I
didn't
just
you?
watched it again and I realized all of the best parts. I mean, arguably the best parts in the movie is when the two burglars, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern's characters, actually get into the house and Kevin just wreaks havoc, just lets them have it. Like, biggest mistake they ever made was
Picked
picking
the
on this
wrong
kid.
freaking house.
It's so funny, but all of that happens in like the last 20 minutes of the movie. It's not
Right.
so
It's
much
a
of the
very
movie
slow
happens
build up.
before that whole twist, and it's a wild ride after that. But those scenes are so funny to me as an adult, as a dad now. I'm slapping my knee. Oh, look at this. Like, there is nothing funnier than watching a man getting hit with a paint bucket.
Or
and then
the
stepping
blood
on a
curdling
nail.
scream.
Oh my, one of the funniest scenes in movie history is when they got Kevin by the leg, almost gets him. And it's like, this is not part of the plan.
It's like, oh
and at the
no.
last second, he sees his brother's spider on the stairs and he puts it on Daniel Stern's face. And the sound, the scream is,
Oh, just complete and
oh my God.
utter.
Everything
terror.
about that scene is, I'm dying laughing. Like,
Yeah,
LOL
it's so
for
good.
sure. So Home Alone, you stay right where you are.
Didn't make it on my personal top 10, but I know for sure it's on yours.
Always will be.
Yes.
And okay, now we're in the top 3.
Wow.
This one has been done, I don't know how many times, but it deserves to be up here. A Christmas Carol.
A Christmas Carol.
Classic story. Ebenezer Scrooge, Bah Humbug, Tiny Tim, all of those. I mean, whichever version that you like of it, I would say good. This one's referencing the 1951, which I don't think I've ever seen.
I have
You like A Muppet Christmas Carol.
A Muppet Christmas Carol. That's
your
the
favorite
best
version.
one. Made it onto my personal top 10. So I now have 2 of my personal favorites have made it on this
You're doing
list.
good.
So I can't argue. I mean, even though this is just the original one, it does honorably mention down here A Muppet Christmas Carol.
That's a good one to drive home the point of Christmas spirit and like,
Man,
you don't want to be a Scrooge. Like,
no.
across the world, if you say Scrooge, everyone's like, I'm not a Scrooge.
I think you can
Nobody
look
wants
it
to
up
be a Scrooge.
in the dictionary, right? A Scrooge is a person
The
who
worst
hates
type of
Christmas.
person. Yeah. So if he can make it, so can we.
That's right.
All right. Now we're getting into that argument I told you. Is it a real Christmas movie? Number 2 movie in the world, according to IMDb, is Die Hard.
Die Hard. And they have listed right here. So it says
Their
on the
only
IMDb
explanation-
website, number 2, Die Hard. And it just says, yes, it is a Christmas movie.
They're officially announcing it. And this has been a long debated argument. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And, again, to each their own, but to list it at number 2 out of every movie.
That's big, right? That just tells me that a lot of people are watching this movie around Christmas time, which I think that's where I stand on this debate, is that you get to decide what a Christmas movie is to you. And a Christmas movie is a movie that you watch during the holiday season that makes you feel good. That's what warrants a Christmas movie.
But is Die Hard that movie?
Not for me, but I'm sure it is for a lot of people, because here's what I think happens. I think this is where the whole debate starts, okay? Is that it's a movie based around Christmas time, and then something else ensues, right? We have this whole now hostage terrorist heist situation, or we have a kid who's left home alone situation. But it's happening around Christmas time. And so it just sparks that memory. It's like you're decorating for Christmas and you're like, oh, you know what movie we haven't seen in a while? Die Hard or Home Alone. And it just so happens to be around the holidays.
I love Die Hard. Great movie. But I just don't think Christmas, I'm not going to hang the stockings with care, put on my robe, get some hot chocolate and nuzzle up with you by the fire and say,
did you not describe what we just do all the time?
Let's watch Bruce Willis shoot some guys.
Yeah.
I want to see a man with no shoes on crawling through an air duct system.
But a lot of people do, apparently. But very interesting. I would say, yes, very interesting that this is the number 2 of all time Christmas movie. But hey, I think this just proves that you really are choosing what constitutes as a Christmas movie.
You are what you choose to be.
Oh man. So now we are at the number 1 Christmas movie, according to IMDb. Mm-hmm. It's a Wonderful Life.
Sure. Why not?
It has to be. Not on my personal,
just
but
by seniority. 1946, this movie was made.
It's black and white.
It didn't even have color technology. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the last time I watched it, if ever. I know about it. I respect it.
I mean, I remember when I saw it for the very first time as a little kid because it impacted me like deeply.
I mean, it's so popular that you actually often see this movie being played in other Christmas movies. So that's how it's got to be the GOAT, right? It's number 1.
Like you said, it really drives the point, I think, of like what's truly important, and that what truly is important is what
Spirit of Christmas.
The Christmas season is all about. Come on.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Come on. Okay, well, let's compare this quickly to our personal top 10 favorite list.
Most of my favorites
didn't end up on there.
Right now.
No, so I had the Santa Claus come in at my number 10.
Santa Claus is number 14 on this list.
Okay.
And it's easily in my top 10. Tim Allen. It's a great movie. It holds up to this day.
It's one of the first ones that it's like when it's time for Christmas movies, it's time to watch the Santa Claus.
It's a must watch.
It's been in our rotation like twice already. My number 8, which I'm surprised was not in the list that we just went through, is Jim Carrey's The Grinch.
And I'm looking, and it's not even on the list at all.
What?
It's not even in the top 100.
There's no way.
The animated one is on here, so they do give The Grinch a reference, but
it's number 36.
Not Jim Carrey's version. To me, that's blasphemous. I can't believe that.
That's wild.
It's in my top 10.
I cannot believe it's not on here.
I don't know who's not watching this movie every year, but come on, guys. It's not even in the top 100. You're going to say Die Hard is number 2 and Jim Carrey's Grinch can't even break the website?
100?
Can't even get on there?
Yeah, it's my number 8 because what a performance.
I'm upset.
My number 5 is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Number 18.
Number 18.
The top 100.
Wow. I mean, I'm really happy to hear that, but that just even makes it more surprising that Jim Carrey's The Grinch didn't even end up on there.
I mean, come on.
That's confusing as all heck. Then coming in at number 5, I have Christmas Chronicles 2, which...
Great movies.
Amazing movie. We will talk more about that in just a second. Coming in at number 4, I'm going to continue this debate of what constitutes as a Christmas movie, but any of the Harry Potter movies. Any of them.
But why? What about Harry Potter is Christmas to you?
They make me feel good.
Yes.
And I want to feel good around Christmas time.
You can feel good in July watching them too.
But it's more of a holiday movie, and they have some really just like, you're sitting in a castle with snow falling outside and a little hot cup of cocoa, and you're like
Lord
magical
of the Rings is
wand.
my favorite Christmas movie then.
I would totally agree with you. I'm surprised Lord of the Rings isn't on my top 10.
But we're not talking about favorite movies.
I'm going to change this right now. / Lord of the Rings.
You're just doing this to upset me.
I'm not.
Respect the list, okay?
I'm respecting it.
It's Christmas movies, not movies.
Did you not fall in love with me because I love Lord of the Rings?
Because we watch Harry Potter all year long.
So?
I'm a huge fan. I love them all. They're great. We've watched them 10 times each this year already. Mm-hmm. But not Christmas movies. Not Christmas movies.
Number 4 on the Christmas list. Any Harry Potter, fight me. Okay, number 3 is The Polar Express.
That's by default. Yep. And I only have this one on my list as a tradition movie.
Our families both kind of grew up with that same tradition where we watched every Christmas Eve, right?
In 2004, and I think every year since then, we started watching it on Christmas Eve.
It's going to be 20 years old next year.
It became a tradition in our house, and now it's just like, I feel weird if I don't watch it on Christmas Eve. And at the time, it was a groundbreaking like animation style. They were going for like realism and the Tom Hanks character and all that stuff. Now when you watch it, it's a little bit scary looking. You get that animation with those like lifeless eyes, like they didn't really understand how to animate pupils back then. But still, great movie.
True, but the feeling
story.
that I get, it still makes me cry every single time when you actually hear the bell ring. It's like,
come on.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so number 2 is Christmas Chronicles.
The first one.
The first one. So Christmas Chronicles 1 and 2 made it on my top 10 Christmas movie list.
Number 29 on the IMDb. 100.
Good. I'm glad it's at least acknowledged because
it's a newer movie, which you don't hear about a lot of newer movies becoming the top anything.
But they it was just, I remember when we saw it and I was like, wow, thank you. I couldn't believe that we were just given a brand new Christmas movie that's just like, this is Christmas.
Yeah, it took us all by surprise. Kurt Russell as Santa, freaking genius.
He is Santa. Him and Goldie Hawn are Mr. and Mrs. Claus forever now.
Yeah, that's a good story. I could watch that any day of the year.
We're not going to mention the personal number 1, even though we've made it this far. So make sure to stick around to the end of the show for our movie night recommendation, which is one of the best Christmas movies that we've ever seen and my number 1 favorite Christmas movie of all time. And it hasn't even been mentioned yet.
Batman Returns.
It's not that. It's not that.
Number 33.
Number 33 on IMDb.
I will defend that one. I mean, if we're making that argument.
Make sure you stick around to the end of the show to find out what our number 1 Christmas movie is and our movie night recommendation for the week. And comment down below and let us know your favorite holiday movie. It can be whatever you want. It could be Die Hard.
No, it can't be whatever you want.
It can be whatever you want.
It's gotta be a Christmas movie.
Don't listen to him.
We are just flying off the rails here.
You get to do what you want to do. Okay.
I'm going to trim some branches here.
Trim some branches, babe.
My brain is hot.
You're hot.
Doesn't really help. It's the headphones, not the tree.
That's what she said.
Hey.
And now it's time for one of my favorite parts of the show, Cade's Craft Corner.
Yeah.
Yay.
Oh, man.
It's going to be so much fun. Our youngest son, Cade, who's a natural artist and super crafty, is going to share with all of you a simple craft that you can make at home with you and your family. I think he's got something really special lined up for the Christmas season. So let's go over and see what he's got to show you today.
Cade's Craft Corner.
Cade's Craft Corner. We are making some special Christmas ornaments using perlers. If you've never heard of perlers, it's basically these little plastic bead thingies.
Beads.
They're kind of like beads, huh?
Beads.
And what you do is you take these pegboards and you place each whatever color thingies you want, and you make a design kind of like this. And once you have your design on your pegboard, you basically take a little iron and you melt the plastic together so it becomes one thing. Sounds kind of exciting, right? Since it's Christmas time, we're going to be doing some Christmas ornaments. Do you know what you're going to make?
Penguin.
I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but we're going to figure it out. So we got all this stuff at Walmart. They sell all the perler stuff. It's really cool. You can make literally anything you want. I also got some googly eyes if we want to get really crazy. So are you excited for Christmas?
Yes.
Shouldn't have even asked. What's your favorite part about Christmas?
Presents.
Presents? Do you like getting presents or giving presents?
Getting presents.
That's your favorite part?
Yes, I just like getting presents.
I understand.
I really want it to be Christmas right now,
We're
but
getting close. It's almost Christmas.
I am so excited.
Do you know what Mom's getting me for Christmas? I'm asking you.
What?
Did they tell you any secrets? Do you know where they're hiding presents?
I do not know where they're hiding presents.
Okay, I tried. How are you doing? Are you just making up your own guy right now?
Yes, I'm not.
So brave. Cade is very much the artist in the family. Very rarely looks at instructions.
I'm good at Legos.
He's good at coming up with his own Lego ideas. He makes his own robots. He makes his own sets. So that was the easy part. The not so easy part, and the part you should definitely get help from your parents if you have little hands. Get some help using your iron, because these are very dangerous, very hot, and you have to be very careful with it. I don't know what kind of paper this is. It's like a wax paper. And you're going to place that over the top, and we're going to iron over it, and it'll slowly melt together. Isn't that exciting?
Yes, sir.
That gets hot really fast. And after a few minutes, you'll see the circles start to kind of turn into squares. They start to melt into each other, and that's how you get them to stick. Okay, Bug, there you go. Cade's is all done. Let's go put them on the tree.
I'm going to put yours on the tree, and you put mine on the tree.
Okay.
Okay, let's put them on the tree. They look so cute together.
Good job. Say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Woo. Back to you guys.
That was amazing.
It was so fun.
You guys did such a great job. It turned out so good.
I just followed his lead.
He's
I barely was involved.
So no surprise, but traveling during the holidays can be hectic with especially crowded airports and roads. So we have a few tips that might protect that precious Christmas spirit from any humbug that you might encounter out there this season.
That's right. We got some travel tips for you. If you're traveling this holiday season, which we know all about because we spent the last 2 years pretty much driving around everywhere we could. We've done 20 something states in the last couple of years. So
40,000 miles.
We've gotten around and
we've learned some things and we want to share them with all of you.
Specifically talking about flying. If you're going to be doing some air travel, which you already know that flying, especially with your whole family,
with kids, it's difficult.
Already hectic. It's already a big pile of stress, especially during the Christmas season. You've got extra crowded airports. Everyone's just trying to get there where they're going. And so we've got some tips that might help you along the way. If you're going to be traveling with some gifts, you got some presents to take to grandma's house, make sure you pack your gifts in your carry-on. Try to keep those with you because what's the worst thing that we all know that can happen during a flight is you show up, but your bag doesn't. Your bag's in Cleveland. Somehow it always ends up in Cleveland.
Or Denver.
Yeah, I'm going to Arizona, but it ended up in Cleveland. The last thing you want is some precious gifts that you promised your little niece that you haven't seen all year. Santa lost your bags somehow.
Don't do that.
Keep your presents, keep your gifts with you in your carry-on if you can. And also, if you are taking gifts, try not to wrap your gifts. Even though you feel like you're saving time, TSA does have the right to...
They have the right to open them.
They will shred open, probably with a smile on their face.
You won't be able to argue with them.
So they have the right to open those gifts if there's any hint of red flag in those things. So if you're going to take gifts, find another way of hiding what they are. Don't wrap them. And if you at all can, ship your gifts ahead of time.
Have them arrive before you and just avoid the headache altogether.
Totally worth it just because, you don't want TSA dumping out your Turbo Man doll in front of your kid,
Jingle All the Way reference, babe?
One of my favorite Christmas movies. And as far as flying goes, if you can, again, choose direct flights if possible. Like I said, airports are way more crowded, lots of people flying. You want to spend the least amount of time in airports as possible, right?
Amen.
So get a direct flight so you don't have to get on and get off 3 times just trying to save a few bucks, trying to fly over. So also...
This is my favorite tip,
This is a good tip, and I feel like it's worth it. If you can, splurge on lounge access.
Splurge!
Yeah, treat yourself this Christmas season. TSA always reminds you to arrive 2 hours early for your flight. It's not just your dad being paranoid. Like, you should get there early, especially during Christmas season, but you don't want to just be sitting around in an overcrowded airport in a weird metal leather seat.
It's so uncomfortable.
Fighting for a plug to charge your phone. Most airlines do have these little things called lounges that are designed for people who have paid for access. Most of the time, if you have a first class flight, which I don't think we've ever done.
Not yet.
But any ticket can usually be upgraded. And I say, if you're traveling with your family, you're trying to keep the stress down, just pay whatever it is to get access to it. You probably get a way nicer situation so you can really relax, wait for your flight in a little bit of style. Consider it an early present for you and your family.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Splurge.
I didn't get you a stocking stuffer, but I got you. Here's
Lounge
here's a
access.
free orange and a bottle of water.
Merry freaking Christmas. Heck yeah.
There's a massage chair over there.
And if you aren't flying this holiday season, what tips can those driving consider out there on the roads, babe?
Yep, that's how we like to get around after 2 years of RV travel.
Like I said, over 40,000 miles we covered.
We've seen lots of roads. So here's some driving tips for any of you doing some significant driving travel.
We got you covered.
Driving to grandma's house. First, I mean, this is obvious, but make sure your car is all tuned up, ready to go. Make sure there's no engine problems. Get your oil changed. Check your tires. Check your wipers. We both grew up in Southern California, so we don't even know what windshield wipers are for.
Yeah.
So the odds of us making sure they're maintained is very low. But if you're driving across
Until the
country,
rubber's just like flopping across
and
your
you're like,
windshield, and you're like, oh, what's this for?
it's raining and snowing, I better turn these on. And you realize that they haven't been changed in 10 years.
Or you don't know where the button is.
Make sure your wipers are good. And also make sure you have some chains. Again, being from California, like what the hell are chains? Believe it or not, the roads can get pretty hairy out there in the winter season with snow and ice and stuff. So,
And having chains on hand has saved us quite a few times in the past.
yeah, you should have them regardless, but especially just to keep in mind. Another good tip, if you're traveling, especially with kids, pack all the snacks.
Pack all the snacks.
What's a good road trip without good road trip snacks?
And have options,
Right.
variety. Pack it all. We've utilized our Ice Mule.
Little cooler backpack.
Yeah, the
that we
cooler
have.
backpack.
Yep.
And
Every
it's-
travel day, we always packed it with as much food as possible. Even if we had our RV behind us, if you're in the car, you don't want to stop at the gas station every single time just to grab a bag of Doritos. Be prepared. Pack some snacks because they're going to ask for it, and you're going to want it too. So
Yes.
having a couple extra Slim Jims never hurt anybody.
Again, pack all the things. I don't care anything under the sun. Whatever you have in the house, throw it in the bag.
Throw it in there. For those of you, if you're traveling to somewhere that you don't normally go to, make sure if you have some stop-offs in mind or some attractions you want to see, make sure you're checking for holiday hours. Because you're not the only one on vacation in Christmas time. So that place that you wanted to stop and show the kids, the world's largest peanut or whatever, they might be closed.
want a peanut?
Sure. Make sure that the holiday hours are within your
travel plans.
yeah, because it might not even be open when you get there. So check for holiday hours. Same goes for restaurants. If you can, call ahead. Places get busier during the holiday season. So
Yes.
if you want to go there, just assume that other people are going to. Last thing you want is to show up for your Christmas dinner with your family, dressed up nice, and it's a 4-hour wait, or they turn you away and you have to go to Burger King instead.
And we've seen that happen. And I say, sometimes I think people think you need to make a reservation way ahead of time. Just always call and attempt to make the reservation.
Never hurts.
We've made reservations on the drive to the place. And
it helps.
It's like, oh yeah, somebody canceled or they didn't show up and we can get you down. And it's like, great. So always just try to make the reservation. It makes a world of a difference.
Yes. The last good tip is to listen to a good podcast.
Hey,
And that's a little wink, wink for you there.
that's a great idea.
Yeah. I mean, one thing we've definitely learned doing a lot of driving is you can only listen to popular music so many times, even your favorite songs.
Even your favorite song
They
gets
get old. And one good way to pass the time where everyone can listen to something is a good podcast.
with something educational and fun.
It's fun and educational.
Hey.
That's from Jingle All the Way, by the way.
Wow, 2 quotes.
So there's some good travel tips for you. And the biggest tip we can give you is to be safe, travel safely, and try to hold on to that Christmas spirit. Just know that it's a time for being happy and you're going to get where you're going. Just hang
Stay
in
the
there.
course.
Yeah. And if you're traveling by sea, if you're going on a Christmas cruise, I can't help you. You know what you're doing. You're not driving the boat. 2, I'm just jealous of you because that's how I would like to travel if we could. Although I've been watching a bunch of those videos on my TikTok. Have you seen them where it shows like giant ships getting tossed around in the ocean? There's that creepy pirate song. You don't know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen these.
It's just like it just shows like an oil tanker about to do like a backflip, and it's just like yo ho, All hands, hoist the colors high.
Whoa.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
I got chills, got little goosebumps.
Those scare the crap out of me, and I have to watch them, but
I have not seen those.
Maybe I should
Sounds
stop.
terrifying.
I should stop because I do want to go on a cruise.
Take me on a cruise, babe.
That's the best way to travel, folks. Go on a cruise. Maybe someday. And that's it for your travel tips.
Those were amazing. And make sure that you comment down below your favorite useful holiday travel tip for this season.
Let us know.
So now it's time for another new segment. Can you believe how many new segments there are this show? It's absolutely crazy.
It's rolling.
But now it's time to get physical.
Physical.
And this is now the part of the show where we talk about a practice that we've adopted into our physical routine.
We're trying.
And on today's holiday edition, we're talking about cold plunging.
Super popular right now. You've seen everyone doing it.
And it's extremely difficult.
Is it worth it? Is there any benefit, or is this just the ice bucket challenge all over again?
Well, after we share with you what we have in store today, we will let you decide. But this has been a fad that's been sweeping the fitness industry in recent years that has been utilized for thousands and has been documented for its health benefits all the way back in 3500 BC.
Really?
Seriously. The noted health benefits have been documented since 3500 BC.
I mean, they didn't have water heaters back then, so.
But they knew that it was also giving them a lot of benefits besides just getting clean. A bath was a lot more sacred back then.
They probably didn't even realize the benefits of it. And we're just now learning that it's not only a challenging thing to do, but it actually has some scientific advantages.
It's
really good for you.
It's very impressive.
If you do it right.
Yes. So we're going to share a lot of the benefits here with you. But if you decide that you would like to try this at home, the information provided during this segment should not be used for diagnosing or treating a health problem or disease. And those seeking personal medical advice should consult with a licensed physician.
Yeah. Because again, this is not just, it's not a fad. It's not just a challenge of let's see how long you can stay in, bro.
Yes.
No, you do have to be careful with it. You have to treat it just like you would any other type of, physical regimen. So
any water below 59 degrees constitutes as a cold plunge. So if you submerge yourself in water below 59 degrees, this is considered cold exposure.
It's cold.
And so when performing this act, always make sure that you are safe, that you are being monitored, that you have an exit route from this body of water if you are not utilizing an ice bath at home, and minimizing your duration of time in the cold water. As we can assume and figure, the longer that you stay in the water, the higher the chances of having hypothermia set in.
Spoiler alert, you're not going to want to stay in there too long anyway.
Yeah, so this is not a difficult safety caution, but
it's not hard to get out. I'll tell you that much.
Each session should only be lasting at least 3 to 6 minutes and no more than 10. You are not staying in this water for any longer than 10 minutes. Don't do it.
I've done it for 10 minutes.
We've done it for 10.
And although possible, it's like, if it's dangerous after that, you're not going to get me pushing my luck there.
No.
I'm getting out.
So very interestingly enough, one study showed that a cold plunge at 57 degrees Fahrenheit caused a 250% increase in dopamine levels.
All right. Wow.
And a 530% increase in noradrenaline levels that lasted for several hours.
And I believe that because we're still new to this. We haven't done it for too long. We did a little bit last year. We bought a little thing.
Well, I would say we've been consistently performing this practice for the last year.
Yeah.
For the last year, this has been part of our healthcare regimen for sure.
We recently got this really cool, this company called the Ice Pod is what it's called.
Yes.
It's this little portable, very affordable, whatever you want to call it.
Ice bath. Would highly recommend.
Little tub that you get in. It's like a single person thing. It's legit though. It's insulated. So it's like, it's the real deal. We've been using that for a couple weeks now and I've been doing it almost every day.
And how do you feel afterwards?
Afterwards, it's always the same. As much as I hated getting in, afterwards, I feel great. And this, 530% in
noradrenaline, and then a 250% increase in dopamine.
If that means energy, then I would agree because I feel like a freaking $1,000,000 afterwards to the point where I feel like I just chugged 10 cups of coffee and I want to run through a wall because the energy that it gives you, and it lasts for a long time.
For a really long time.
I'm still feeling it. I haven't
I have some really interesting facts about that. So
just sit here
talking
like this
about
all
this
day.
increase of dopamine, for those of you that don't know, dopamine is the molecule that our brain produces of reward and pursuit.
It's dope.
It gives you a motivation. Your mood increases and your cognitive attention increases. Dopamine is a big reason why people get addicted to heavy drugs, is because it increases the amount of dopamine that your brain produces. However, here's the very, very interesting part. Compared to cocaine and heroin, the amount of the length of the lasting effects that dopamine has on your body when utilizing those drugs like heroin and cocaine is anywhere between 30 minutes to maybe like an hour and a half.
And it's killing you
And-
at the same time.
And it's not something that you should be ingesting into your body. Right. However, if you just put yourself in an ice bath for 3 minutes a few times a week, you get this 250% increase of dopamine, and then it lasts up to 6 hours. So it's literally like taking
better than tripping out on a drug, basically.
Better than doing hardcore drugs without any of the negative effects.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. And then besides dopamine, it also releases norepinephrine, which is shown to reduce depression and anxiety. This also stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system, which if you've heard the terms fight or flight and rest and digest, this is referring to the two types of nervous systems we have in our body.
Yep.
So the parasympathetic nervous system is the ability for our body to rest and digest and for our heart rate to be slow and controlled.
Right.
So by doing this, it also stimulates the vagus nerve, slowing the heart rate down. But for me, this naturally gives you an opportunity to hone in on the craft of meditation as well.
Because you kind of have to.
You do.
The act of getting in super cold water and trying to remain calm for even 3 minutes is the hardest part. The act of being in the water, it's cold, it sucks, but getting your mind in the right place beforehand is the hardest part. Just psyching yourself up, like knowing what's going to happen. So yeah, you do have to have a strong mind.
It's very much a mind over matter, and it's you against you. The only reason why it's so difficult is because of your own thoughts. So it's a really great way to master your own mind, master your anxiety, to be able to truly calm yourself down in a stressful situation. And if you're somebody who has been very eluded of what meditation really is, a lot of people think you need to sit in a quiet room for like hours on end. It's not the case. Cold plunging is actually a great place to start if you're someone who's really confused about the whole act of meditation, because truly it only needs to be every 3 minutes at a time. It's all about just tuning out any sort of outside stimulant, focusing on your breath, and staying present with your thoughts. It's just a great way to meditate and figure out what that's all about too, aka dopamine. Mind
over matter, right?
Yeah. So
and all the best things for us are the most uncomfortable things. It's like why is
it's so true, isn't it?
Why is the best thing for my mind and body to get into freezing cold water, which we just naturally tend to hate? We invented showers, the modern shower is with hot water because that feels more comfortable. But if you're constantly focused on being comfortable, like you're harming yourself. So it's like, as sucky as it is, it's like you got to do things that are uncomfortable, and those usually yield the best benefits.
They really do.
Same with your health. It's like, man, I wish I could eat cheeseburgers all day long and be healthy, but most of the healthy foods are not the ones I want to eat, but I got to do it.
It's like, just do it.
The only answer is just, you got to do it.
You just got to do it.
It'll be over in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
The longer you stand here, the longer you're just standing outside in your underwear.
Exactly.
As far as I'm concerned.
So we've thoroughly enjoyed adding this challenging yet rewarding practice to our healthcare routine and keeping the benefits that it provides.
Yeah.
And so I think that this now is a perfect little segue into our next segment, where it's time to get a little witchy.
Hey-o.
This is the part of the show where I share with you a holistic health tip to help support your mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah.
Heyo. I've been a registered nurse for the last 7 years. Mm-hmm. I have my bachelor's degree in nursing. I'm a self-taught yogi, a neurolinguistic practitioner, a licensed hypnotherapist, and a certified coach. Even though
Stacked.
I'm stacked, bro. But even though I'm a licensed healthcare professional, I'm always looking for a more holistic, natural way of taking care of myself.
That's true.
I'm like, there's a lot of terms for what I am. I'm a green witch. I'm a Hufflepuff. My Harry Potter house is I'm a Hufflepuff, like through and through.
100%.
I'm a millennial hippie, okay?
Call it what you want.
I'm a
All I
millennial.
know-
I'm a millennial hippie. I love all things natural, organic, holistic, and witchy.
All I know is that my house is covered in crystals and weird rocks that I'm not allowed to touch. There's a salt lamp right behind you.
If you know, you know.
What's it doing?
So many things.
Why is the lamp made of salt?
But we're not talking about that today. But yeah, I'm such a sucker for education and degrees and licenses and certificates, as you know.
You're kind of like Hermione and Neville Longbottom at the same time.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for saying that.
You're welcome.
Hermione and Neville mixed together.
Yeah. It's like you're super smart, but you're also a total dork.
And I'm
And
like
I love it.
super klutz.
Let's get a little witchy.
So anyway, even though I'm super cool and super educated, as we've mentioned, once again, the information provided during this segment should not be used for diagnosing or treating a health problem or disease, and those seeking personal medical advice should consult with a licensed physician.
There you go.
So for this very special edition of Let's Get a Little Witchy, I'm going to share with you a simple, easy, and witchy health tip to keep your immune system fully supported and perfectly balanced.
Who doesn't want that?
Dry brushing. Have you heard about dry brushing?
I haven't. That's a new one.
Really?
Yeah. What is that? I mean, it sounds easy enough, but what is dry brushing?
I'm so glad you asked.
Oh, you set me up for that one.
Dry brushing is an easy way to add a lymphatic massage to your daily self-care regimen.
Lymphatic. I've heard that word before.
Okay, so let's break this down,
right.
okay? So when we're dealing with our immune system, what we're ultimately dealing with is inflammation.
Inflammare.
Or the ability to fight it. That's what our immune system is doing, is fighting inflammation, because almost all illnesses and diseases are caused by inflammation somewhere in the body. Basically, every health problem you've ever had, the root cause of it all is inflammation.
Something's on fire.
And an important component of our immune system is our lymphatic system. It's a whole other system we have in our body. And it's responsible for our fluid balance. And trust me, there's a lot going on in here fluid-wise.
I have so many fluids.
I know way
Don't
too
get me
much
started.
about the vast amount of fluids our bodies hold and produce and expel. It's crazy. So our lymphatic system is very important, is ultimately what I'm trying to say. Balancing all the fluids in our body is a big task to take on.
Check your fluids, bruh.
So our lymphatic system maintains the fluid, thus defending our body against infection or...
Inflammare.
You're listening. You're getting it. Good job.
Don't like inflammation around here.
So here's
Yeah.
where you can get a little witchy and you can take things into your own hands at home by dry brushing and performing a self-lymph drainage massage.
Sounds painful.
So we're going to go into a demonstration of what dry brushing looks like. And you can spend as little as 5 minutes doing this up to 15 to 20. It just depends on how much you want to and enjoy performing it on yourself.
That's what she said.
Okay, so we're just going to take a look at this demonstration here. This is what I'm talking about. This would be like a dry brush. So this one's a handheld one. There are ones that you can get that have a handle on it to get to harder to reach places, but all you need is a simple hand dry brush to perform this at home.
Seems harmless enough.
It is. So if we look at the demonstration here, again, just talking about cleanliness, good to just start with the face so that we're not rubbing any other dead skin cells on our face.
Always start with the face.
So when we're performing it around our face and our neck, our lymph nodes want to go back and down. So I'm doing just some like small brush strokes, moving from my chin back to my jaw and going down the neck. Easy to do. So our lymphatic system is basically divided into a quadrant here. So you're going to have lower abdominal quadrants to work on and upper abdominal quadrants to work on. So starting here with the lower half, I'm starting in my lower abdomen and I'm doing small brush strokes down towards my groin. And as I move down to my thigh, I'm going to change the brush stroke strokes from going downward to an upward motion. Once again, moving toward that groin area. Then here for the buttocks and the thigh, you're going to want to come from the back to the front. So again, I'm using small brush strokes, but I'm coming from the back and I'm just brushing towards the front.
Like back to front?
Yes. Back to front, because this again is how our lymphatic system is designed.
Okay.
Now we're going to move down towards our calf and our shin, and we're going to just do some small upward brush strokes.
Seems kind of pleasant.
It is. It feels really nice. It's like giving yourself a little massage.
I like it.
And lastly, you're going to move down to the foot, again, doing just some small upward brush strokes. When doing this on the lower body, you want to start from your abdomen and work your way down. Don't start from your feet and work your way up, because what you're ultimately doing here is you are allowing any blockages to flow free. And if we push from our foot upwards, we could just be making the blockages worse. So here I'm just demonstrating again on the other side. We're going from the buttocks and the back of the thigh, and we're moving forward. Back to front is the correct way to do it when we are talking about dry brushing.
I'm not going to judge you on that.
Now, if you Google dry brushing on the internet, it's always going to tell you to dry brush towards your heart.
It's usually a horse having it done. Right?
Yeah. But even though it'll tell you to brush towards your heart, this isn't necessarily the goal. In this demonstration, I'm showing you all the correct movements. And even though your lymph drainage does eventually end up in your heart, you are giving yourself a massage to relieve any blockages that there are.
So you're actually doing a lot of stuff, huh?
A lot of stuff. We're going to actually...
good things that come from this.
Yes.
Interesting.
Very, very many. I'm going to get into those after this demonstration, because now we're going to work towards our upper body. So now once we work in our upper abdominal quadrants, the brush strokes change from moving downward to moving upward. This is where the internet says to brush towards your heart, but we're just doing the upward motion. Same thing when we work on our arms. We're going to be doing small brush strokes upward towards the body, towards the armpit area. So as you mentioned, yes. So not only does dry brushing support your immune system, like greatly, but it also has 7 other major benefits. Wow. It also supports your circulatory system, your life force, blood flow, right?
Blood.
Your circulatory system is the pathway that supplies vital nutrients and oxygen to every single part of your body. And even though our skin is our largest organ and can absorb up to 80% of the nutrients we need, it's also the last to receive nutrients from the body.
Course.
So dry brushing provides a much needed boost of blood flow to keep your skin nourished, clear, radiant, and glowing.
Yeah.
So benefit number 2 is that it does just promote healthier, natural, healthier looking skin. You're just going to have a glow if you adopt this to your daily self-care routine.
Brush your hair, brush your teeth.
Brush your body. And number 3,
before bed.
So then number 3, it also just naturally exfoliates, opening up those pores.
Makes sense.
Number 4, it decreases cellulite.
Ayo.
Sorry.
All right.
It decreases cellulite. So I'm going to stop right here. Cellulite is not a bad thing. It's nothing to be ashamed about or embarrassed about. Everyone has it.
I probably got some somewhere.
Yes. And what people struggle with is just, I guess, your cellulite is going to change in its appearance every day. And the amount of cellulite that's actually visible on your body strictly has to do with how hydrated you are at any given point.
Really?
So with dry brushing, helping maintain our fluid balance, it's just going to keep the amount of cellulite that's visible decreased. So if you're looking for a natural, healthy way to decrease cellulite, which again, no shame, adding dry brushing once again to your routine is just going to help with that.
Brush your butt.
Number 5, it also supports your fascia, which is more connective tissue that is underneath the skin. It is allowing your skin to stretch and move, and is allowing me the ability to move my mouth and speak into this microphone right now. Number 6 is that it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which was also mentioned in our Get Physical segment where we talked about cold plunging. And this is something else that just supports that ability to rest and digest and relax that amazing nervous system that you have. And number 7, this is so great for people who suffer from autoimmune diseases.
Really?
If you are someone who suffers from any kind of autoimmune disease, I promise you, if you add this to your daily healthcare routine, you're just going to feel better overall. I absolutely promise you, this is a game changer for those with autoimmune diseases.
Wow.
Yes. So dry brushing, keep that immune system supported and add this simple, natural, holistic routine to your daily healthcare regimen. And I promise you, you're going to look better and you're going to feel better.
So take a cold shower and brush your body. Who knew?
Opposite, actually. So I would say that you should be...
and then dip.
Yes, because you want to be able to wash off all the dead skin cells that you just kind of muffed up on the top layer of your skin.
Give them the old brush and plunge.
So perform this routine and then take a shower. It'll change your life.
Nice.
So that concludes of our Lil Witchy segment on today's show. Thanks for bearing with me. But with us being in the United States and in our winter months, I will be furthering this conversation next week of supporting your immune system. So make sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss next week's show where I'll share with you a simple hack to keep your hydration game strong. Okay, so now that we've listened to this hippie millennial blabber on for who knows how long, let's head over to our next segment, Staying Hip with Casey, where we sit down with our preteen son and see what these darn kids are up to nowadays and what they're really trying to tell us. So you got to sit down with Casey and you guys had a really great conversation. So let's go see what they're up to.
All right, Casey.
Yes.
You are a gamer. It's fair to say, right?
Very much.
I mean, gaming is very different than it used to be when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
we
bet.
definitely didn't have headphones on and we couldn't talk to our buddies and strategize and all the stuff you guys do nowadays. And I've noticed you guys use a lot of weird words that I don't even understand. So we're going to go over a few of them and I want you to enlighten us.
Okay.
Because we need some help. We're trying not to feel like we're 1,000 years old. So
Right.
when you're gaming, I'm just going to give you a few of these. When someone says, oh, if that guy is a sweat,
Oh.
what does sweat mean? I've heard you say it before.
Yeah, definitely
So
multiple
what
times.
does it mean to be sweating? Is that a term?
Yeah.
You can be a sweat or you
Yeah.
can sweat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, yeah.
What does that mean?
So basically, a sweat is where you're going against a player that's like trying on you like a lot, and like it's really difficult to like hit them or something because they're just like building, editing, and all
So
of that.
they're coming at you hard.
Yeah,
They're trying so hard that
like you can't do anything.
Dude, are you like sweating over there trying to come after me? Is that
You're
the
like,
idea?
bro, you're sweating.
Like, dude,
that.
don't be a sweat, man. It's just a game.
Yeah.
Do you want to be a sweat? Is that a good term?
Yeah, it's a good term because it's like it means you're good at the game, but it's really annoying to other players since you're so good at it.
You're-
good at the game. Like he's a sweat. Like it's over.
This one seems like it might be kind of the same, but if you call someone a bot, someone can be a bot. Like, hey, you're a bot. You're being a bot right now.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
A bot is basically saying that you're an AI, pretty much. You're so bad that you're acting like an AI, like a bot.
Like an NPC.
Yeah.
I see. So I know what that means.
Yeah. So it's like you're so bad that you're like an AI. You're a bot.
So it's like the
a bot.
opposite. So it's like
Yeah, the opposite of sweat.
If you're a sweat, you're
High level type
way
of stuff.
too into it. Like, but if you're a bot,
You're like terrible.
it's like, dude,
you don't
are
know what's
even
happening.
Trying? I think I understand with this one, but when you say GG,
GG, yeah. So
That stands
GG
for-
is like if you're in a good mood, just like GG meaning as good game. It means,
game.
and then GGWP means good game, well played. Like that's whenever you're in a good vibe. But you just say GG just to be nice, Like you
It's-
might be really mad, but you're
it's like
just
a
like GG.
friendly handshake. GG,
yeah,
guys.
just like
GG.
whatever.
And then if somebody's camping,
Camping.
so you like to play Fortnite a lot, you know those. So if someone's camping, I heard you say that a lot. Like,
Yeah.
"Hey, bro, he was camping. That's not fair." Like, what are they doing? That's
So camping is basically it's really annoying because you could be like, looking at a house, like looking for loot and stuff, and then just randomly, like if you run into a player just like behind the door waiting for somebody with their gun, and then you just get like cracked randomly
They're
and like
camping.
they're camping.
But is
Somebody's
that
camping.
bad though? I would call that good strategy.
It's it takes a long time. That's why like sweating is like getting more kills constantly, and then camping is just trying to play out the game and maybe get one kill if they're going into the room
That's
you're
my
in.
strategy. I'm probably only going to get one shot off before someone takes me out, so I might as well hide for 99% of the game. So I'm camping then. That's what
So
if I won by camping, if somebody went out and he got 98 players, he killed 98 guys, and then I'm the last guy and I killed him because I was camping and I win, it's like it's not fair because I'm camping.
Yeah, you're just staying there, no skill, basically.
It's not illegal, but
yeah, it's just like
it's not cool.
You're so bad, like you camp all game just for one kill.
There you go, guys. They're not saying anything that doesn't make sense. They're just there's words for stuff. In the heat of battle, you can sweat, you can be a bot, you can camp, and you don't want to be toxic. But no matter what, every game you always give a GG, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
What's your game of choice right now? What's still popular?
Currently I'm still playing Fortnite. I took a break a few times because some seasons were bad.
You're sweating a little too much.
Maybe. Yeah. And also this other game called Valorant. It's a first-person shooter game. It's more on the toxic side because there's more. It's more like a
little more emotional, a little more frustrating.
Well, like
Halo. Halo gets me pretty toxic.
Because, like, there's more, like, adults. There's more older age people in Valorant. Because it's, like, first person, all that stuff. Like, they can make fun of you for other things. Like, the community isn't great, but it's a fun game whenever you're playing with a friend.
Well, good luck out there.
Yeah.
We'll ask you some more stuff next week.
Sounds good.
Because there's lots I don't know. All right, man. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
All right. Yeah. No problem.
I feel a little better now. I feel like I know something that I didn't know before.
Learned a lot.
I feel a little more hip.
Yeah.
And I'm also realizing that hip is not the word that people use nowadays.
Casey did a great job, though.
Yeah, he was gracious. Usually when the cameras aren't on, there's a lot more like eye rolls and, ugh, Dad. Nobody says that anymore.
Yeah, but he did great.
So
thanks,
I'm
Casey.
using this show as a way to communicate peacefully with my almost 13-year-old kid.
Now it's time for our final segment of our super holly jolly Christmas extravaganza special episode, Movie Night, where we are finally going to reveal our number one Christmas movie recommendation.
Wasn't even listed in the top 100.
Wasn't even listed. My number one favorite Christmas movie of all time.
It might be.
We're talking about
Klaus.
Klaus.
Klaus. Klaus. This movie came out of freaking nowhere.
I'm still picking my jaw up off the floor from the first time that I saw it.
Just blew us away. It came out in 2019 on Netflix. It's just such a good movie. It's such a fresh, honest, like just a good-hearted movie about Christmas. And it really dives into the actual like folklore almost of how did Santa get his start as Santa Claus.
This is a history movie as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
Anybody has where did it begin? Watch Klaus. This is the answer.
The style of this movie is just so good. I mean, I'm a sucker for like unique animation styles. And he definitely delivers there.
Beautiful
I'll give you the
artwork.
premise real quick. We're not going to explain the entire movie because we want you to go watch it tonight with your family. But the premise is a simple act of kindness always sparks another, even in a frozen, faraway place. When Smearenberg's new postman, Jesper, befriends toy maker Klaus, I think you know where this is going, their gifts melt an age-old feud that deliver a sleigh full of holiday traditions. Boom. That's where they leave you. Super awesome cast. Jesper is the postman. He's played by Jason Schwartzman, who's super funny.
Genius.
Has such a
great
quick wit, and they really like let him be himself in this movie. So great acting there. He's super funny and just a unique character in the Christmas story that no one ever talks about. When you write a letter to Santa, how does it really get there? Where did that tradition come from?
Jesper the freaking postman. Okay.
And Klaus is played by J.K. Simmons, you might know as J. Jonah Jameson from the Spider-Man franchise and Spider-Man's a menace. And like, he's just got that.
But he doesn't sound like that.
No, he's very holly, very jolly in this movie. He's great take on what becomes the Santa Claus character. Rashida Jones,
Goddess.
she's great. Also, the late great Norm Macdonald has a part in it. Super funny, just a great, awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it tonight. I can't recommend a movie enough.
I can't recommend
especially
this
for
movie
Christmas,
enough.
but it just in general, Klaus is awesome, and I feel like it's underrated. I feel like it came and went. It did win a bunch of awards. It was actually nominated for an Oscar in 2020 for Best Animated Feature.
Nominated, but
Only
didn't win.
Didn't win, but hey.
It's a disgrace.
It's a winner in our book and in our home. And hopefully you guys enjoy it. So make sure you guys put that into your movie lineup this Christmas. Watch it tonight. Watch it right now.
Margot.
Got one word for you. Margot. She will break your heart.
Go watch the story. Go watch the movie. Find out who Margot.
And then leave a comment talking about how cute Margot is.
Boo! We've reached the end of today's episode, but that never means the adventures do.
That's right.
But I'm ready to go cozy up and watch our own movie night recommendation with you and our boys. Are you?
We're watching Klaus tonight.
We're going to go watch that right now.
Start the popcorn.
Casey, start the popcorn. So make sure you come and join the family by hitting that subscribe button and following us at the Adventurous Spirit Podcast. And always remember, adventure is out there.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss our show next Wednesday,
Even better.
And hit the subscribe button to follow along. I said that again. Sorry.
No, it's cool.
Okay. Use what you want. Take it or leave it.
Be our friends.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
See you next week.